Who of us, who can we say that we deserve anything? We could say, this is my husband's job, but this is what he gets, and this is what I give him. Okay, you can go like that. That's what Hashem will give you. And you wonder, why don't I have a new outfit for Yom Tov? And why don't I have enough money? Who says you deserve? Everything we have, beloved sisters, is a free gift. Everything we have is a free gift. First of all, I want to say, should from this moment on do nothing to criticize. If your husband barely talks in the Shabbat table, and he says something in Torah, sweet, that was great, I never thought of that. Or says a story, and you look at him like an 18-year-old girl completely in love, he's going to talk plenty more Torah. That's the way to get him to learn. Plenty more. By your reaction. And see the way Rachel went with Rabbi Akiva. The encouragement, only with encouragement. You are the island. You are the safe house. And this will tie when you are his island, where he could come and hear a good word, and you're his safe house, and you're his encouragement, he won't move from you in a million years. He won't even contemplate. But what happens when etu brute, husbands come home, completely, the whole world is on their back, and the bank, and the boss, and everyone, and he's owe me money, and here, and he comes home and he gets it from his wife. Then the Yetzer comes in, and the Yetzer says to him, rough time, huh? I told you to marry the second girl, not the third. When a husband is down, he doesn't have strength. He can't fight the Yetzer. So now he's fantasizing. The minute he starts fantasizing, he takes his love away from you, and it goes to someone else. That's why the Torah says, Lo tachmu, shalt not covet. Okay, not covet anything, doesn't matter, whatever. Now, if the husband has emuna, okay, we could say, let the husband learn garden of emuna, and let him, you could read the Trail to Tranquility, and let him realize that every time I insult him, and every time I disparage him, that's a gift from Hashem. Beloved sisters, out of 100 men that want to get close to Hashem, 4 are on the level where they can smile and say, thank you, Hashem. 96, they want to be there, but they don't yet have the kli. They don't yet have the spiritual vessel to handle it. Because what they do, and then they react. And then once they react, it's World War III at home, and everything goes down. Okay. You have to understand, you're right. It's not matter. What do they say in driving school? When you get your license, they said the graveyard is full of people that they have on their matzeva. I had the right of way. Okay, you were right. You had the green light, you had the right of way, but you didn't pay attention that this Mack truck was coming through in a red light. Doesn't matter if you had the right of way. It matters that you live to tell. Okay, let the guy go. Understand? Doesn't matter that you're right. You're the one that's going to suffer. You're the first one that's going to suffer, because when you don't have shalom bayit, your mind wanders. And did I put sugar in the kiggle, or did I not put sugar in the kiggle? And what was the laundry? What I didn't even remember. Am I doing a white cycle or a colored cycle? The mind, Lucy in the sky. They're so famished. Because when we don't have peace, Rabbi Nachman explains. Rabbi Nachman says peace is the basis of self-composure. And self-composure and happiness, when we have happiness, we can compose ourselves, compose our minds. And our minds are in our control and not in the Yetzer. As soon as we don't have peace, we lose control of our minds. That's what it means, losing. What does it mean when one loses one's mind? One loses control over one's mind, and the Yetzer is in charge, and that, beloved sisters, is bad news. Because the Yetzer, Hashem is peace, the Yetzer is opposite. That's why the Mishnah in Tractate Peah, and in Tractate Peah in Yerushalmi Gemara, it says that the biggest mitzvah is creating peace between man and woman, and man and fellow man. That's the whole thing about learning the laws of Chafetz Chaim. That everybody learns the laws of Chafetz Chaim, but what's the light behind the laws of Chafetz Chaim? Do we have peace? Peace amongst us. Can't have peace in the world. What do we want from the nations of the world? What do we want from the EU and the Americans and the Russians and whoever? How about peace within ourselves? Peace within ourselves. How about peace within our own family? The family peace. So by family peace, we have to do our part. So sometimes keeping the peace, wait a second. I'm going to be right, and my criticism is right, Okay? But I'm going to lose the war. I'll win the battle. Oh yeah, I'm right. We all know, there's no husband that can argue any woman in this room. I can't argue my wife. Long time I said, wait a second, this is not the way to do it, because I can't win an argument. Okay. So, if you can't beat him, you join him. And that's inside that piece, you join him. Your husbands cannot defeat you. You're smart, you got Bini Ateva, you could turn things around, you could twist, you all know it. You all know it. So you win the battle, and you lose the war. Okay, you're right, and you make your point, and you're right, and now you don't have Shalom Bayis. So instead of being a queen, you're now Shemata. Who lost? Oh, you won the war, you're great. Now you go, oh, I'm smart him, I told him off. You told him off, now you're miserable. Okay? And then you serve the quiche, and you put you put baking soda instead of salt. And disaster. And see what after you do, when you don't have Shalom Bayis, whatever you do is disaster. You make Isa, the same hands that don't have Shalom Bayis, you make Isa in your challahs, and you see the challah doesn't rise. You did the same exact thing. The same exact Isa, the challah doesn't rise. Challah is a ruchni. By the way, per the challah, some women in the 21st century, they say, well, challahs, I'll buy the challahs. You should know one thing, that if Rav Shalom has counseled tens of thousands of couples, then Hashem has given us the privilege of counseling thousands of couples. I have never, ever seen in my spiritual counseling and rabbinical career a couple that got divorced with a wife that makes challahs for Shabbat. Never. Pardon?
I make challahs and I'm divorced.
You made challahs for your first husband?
Yeah. Always. I never buy challahs.
You always made challahs? Okay, I don't want to speak Lashon Hara about anybody, but there are exceptions to a rule. Obviously, when a husband comes home and he smells his wife's challahs that come off his wife's hands, it's spirit. He's connected to her. You can't leave her. So, if a man can do something like that, I mean, there's some people that have what they call, quote, heartless, unquote. But I'm talking about the normal. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Okay, so you refute me? Okay, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I've also said that people that could say if now there's one thing. I'll give you an example. If you bake challahs for a husband who's hooked on pornography, it won't work. You understand? Because he fills his eyes with schmutz and sees things that it won't work. It's like an athlete would take a vitamin. An athlete would take a vitamin B12 to increase his muscle density. And if you take a person that's 150 pounds, obese, and then takes a vitamin B12, it's not going to help him that much. Okay, first get rid of the 150 pounds. Right. I'm just giving an example. I don't want to know what your situation is, but I am saying that we're at a situation where the wife, now I have seen also times where wives have baked challahs and the husbands have been hooked on porn and the smell of the challahs made them do tshuva. This we've also seen more than one occasion. Okay, but this is for an example. All right, but with every rule, there's an exception. But this, for an example, is an example because it's one of the three woman's main mitzvahs. Chala, Nida, the Chana. Chala, Nida, and Hadlakas Haner. And it's a promise from the Gemara that when she's okay in one of these things, that's unless her husband is, if her husband's a criminal, if her husband's a bank robber, or if her husband's a drug addict, then Chala, Nida, and Hadlakas Haner might not help him. He needs rehab. It's his own thing. But I'm talking about for a normal Jewish man, and we know even normal people, when the divorces hit the frum world also. Okay, for a normal Torah observant man, it's going to tie his head.